I know a lot of people are seeing commentary out there about prices falling, and yes, they are on average. And there's a view that surely with the changes to the investor tax legislation, that the investors are out selling their properties. They may have said that in a survey I ran just after March 23 last year, but they most definitely are not. Well, hello again, everybody. I'm going to have a look at some of the data we've received over the past week or so, and just starting with the numbers from realestate.co.nz. That's where you and I go to if we're looking to maybe buy a property, to peruse through the listings. And we can see that the stock of listings, so the total number of properties that you and I can take a gander at, is up about 70% from a year earlier, 70% from the end of April of 2021. Now, that's a big increase, but it hasn't happened because of a flood of properties coming onto the market. I know a lot of people are seeing commentary out there about prices falling, and yes, they are on average. And there's a view that surely with the changes to the investor tax legislation, that the investors are out selling their properties. They may have said that in a survey I ran just after March 23 last year, but they most definitely are not. Not when we've got rents rising strongly, construction costs going up, there's high job security, volatility in other markets such as for shares, etc., the established long-term capital gain record of housing, and of course the fact that most investors are in for the long term anyway. There is no flood of new listings coming along, and that's also what we can tell from the data, again from realestate.co.nz people. In seasonally adjusted terms, the number of new listings received in the 3 months through to April was down by 5% from the 3 months to January. Again, there is no flood of new listings coming forward, but there is a lot for you and I to choose from. And so that's very good in terms of not so much, focusing on prices. If I were looking to buy at the moment, I wouldn't really be focusing on trying to get a bargain. I would do what I've said before here. I'd be focusing on finding the property which best or better suits the needs for me, my family now and in the future, in terms of, like I've said, walking distance to school, 3 bedrooms rather than having to compromise on 2 bedrooms, all that sort of thing there. So certainly a better situation, and definitely a buyer's market. And that's what I can tell explicitly from the survey I run every month of real estate agents. You'll have seen some commentary out there using data from other sources, and people concluding, well, it looks like we might be in a buyer's market now. Well, I can tell that right from the coalface, basically the second that it does happen. And it happened right at the start of this year. If you go back to October last year, the monthly survey of real estate agents I run with REINZ, I had a gross 70% of the agents saying, it's a seller's market. The sellers can pick and choose who they're going to sell to, refuse offers with conditions, etc. Now it's the other way around, and we are into a net 39% or so of agents, net 39%, saying that we are in a buyer's market. In October, that was actually a 53% saying that we were in a seller's market back then. The 70%, got my numbers wrong there, was for FOMO. So back in October last year, the fear of missing out, a gross 70% of agents said there was FOMO. Now we've only got about a gross 6% of agents saying, in fact, that FOMO is still out there. So the market has turned around strongly. The prime driver has been the credit crunch, LVRs, DTIs, CCC, EFA, etc. But let me just sort of cap off on something I would have said maybe 2 or so months ago. Back then, I said that we were then probably in the worst of the credit crunch and that things would ease off. I can see that the credit crunch is easing off. Things are still a lot tighter than a year ago, most definitely. But the other survey I've got 5 monthly ones, one of Mortgage Advisors, shows that a net 8% of mortgage advisors now say they find banks are becoming more willing to advance finance. So still a lot tighter than a year ago, but we have passed the worst for that credit crunch. So that's a positive thing if you are in the market looking to make a purchase. And remember, there's a lot of stock to choose from, and there's going to be more sitting on the market over the winter months into spring as, like I say, stock numbers going up, and the buyers, people are simply relaxed and probably going to go overseas for a wee holiday. All the best.